Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again, and today we're going to tackle the massive topic of RSP, or the rental server program in Battlefield 5. Because I mean, if you follow the BF5 community on social media, well, you'll notice this is a really commonly talked about topic, and there's a lot of frustration currently that RSP still isn't available in the game yet. Now, with that being said, at the point of making this video, it still hasn't been confirmed yet. But without going into too much detail, there has been some unconfirmed talk from the dev team about it on social media. And so what that probably means is DICE are working on RSP, but they're still figuring out what shape it'll end up taking. So in this video, that's what we're going to get into and exactly why we need RSP at all. Alright, so to kick off, obviously the main reason RSP is so important in any Battlefield game is because it lets people play the game in new ways. Because with custom rule sets, you can completely change the experience, and that extends the life of the game because, let's face it, vanilla servers can get pretty stale pretty quickly. Another huge thing is you can change map and mode rotations to create custom playlists of only the best map and mode combinations that are available. And not just that, but you can also create rules for which type of weapons you want on your server, which is something that I really think they need to hone in on and expand for this particular generation. The main reason all of this is so important, though, is because it allows you to rebalance the game either in a more logical way or in stupid fun ways. And in my opinion, that's a really huge deal because, I mean, often the community identifies balancing issues a long time before DICE gets around to fixing them, and RSP is a way of avoiding them before they do. Also, another thing I should mention here is that after the time to kill change drama that happened a while back, DICE have been pretty quiet about their confirmation at the time of hardcore mode. And I think at the moment many people are thinking that because they did roll back the TTK changes, maybe they've backed down on hardcore as well, which is another problem that I think RSP can fix if they add hardcore features to custom servers instead. Now, another issue that I've mentioned in a few previous videos is that balancing problems either from team stacking or from hackers are at this point breaking the game in vanilla servers. And honestly, I think admin roles and custom settings in RSP is probably the easiest way to address these issues without having to add auto balancers, which historically haven't worked that well anyway. If admins could physically move people, or if they or a player vote could trigger a team shuffle, well, I think that would go a long way to solving this. But, and this is a huge point, this is only really effective if admins have these options while in game. So what I'd like to see is maybe some kind of companion app for a smartphone to allow you to change your server settings without having to exit around first. Also, I should mention that having the ability to select who you want in a server and what team you want them on is essential for all kinds of events. And by extension, that also means any sort of competitive battlefield, which at the moment is pretty much dead without RSP. Also, not just that, but there's a ton of great communities, if you haven't already heard about them, like Friday Night Battlefield, H vs Z, and Division 722, that are having issues holding events. Because at the moment, not only are community events less visible in the server browser, they're also still filling up with randoms from quick join, and so apparently the server queues are becoming ridiculous and people just aren't bothering to stick around to get in. Now, just to follow on from the previous point, well, if you're like me and you're from the APAC region, well, chances are you don't get a chance to play in these custom events anyway, because if you remember, the way latency works was drastically changed back in Battlefield 1, which meant that unlike in BF4, playing out of region for us became basically impossible. Now, obviously Battlefield is a global community, so lenient latency was eventually added in as a custom server option in BF1 as an attempt to try to make up for this. But at the moment, without RSP and these kind of servers, well, us here in APAC are stuck with only our local servers. And when they empty out, well, unless we're willing to put up with not a little subpar experience, a massively subpar experience, we're just not playing anymore. Also, just before we finish up, I want to make a point that custom servers are also used for things other than normal gameplay. Like, for example, a lot of people in the past have used them for creating cinematics or hunting Easter eggs, and this is a really big one that I need to do a fair bit for in-game testing. And so what I'd like to see when RSP finally does come along is through server settings that they really acknowledge that this kind of stuff happens. Like, for example, I'd like to see some kind of explore sandbox setting that just disables all of the regular gameplay mechanics so that you don't have to deal with things like timers and tickets, ending rounds like we've seen in previous games. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps up this video, so make sure you let me know what you think of RSP in the comment section down below. And also, if you think I've left anything out of this video, make sure you leave it in the comments, because like I said, this is the sort of stuff that DICE are thinking about right now, and believe me, they listen to your feedback. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. Also, don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later, and have a good one.